Hi there, welcome to I Lone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Capricorn energy, and we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives because people have free will. People can harness high vibe Capricorn energy, or a more worldly focused Capricorn energy, or a more shadowy Capricorn energy. You know, we either have hope and faith and belief and love, and that's the foundation that we're making decisions from, or we could make decisions a little more motivated by ourself or ego or image or money, materialism, fear, codependency, insecurity. You know, we're either being truthful and honest and just and fair and treating other people the way we like to be treated, or we're hoping to manipulate people to get them to do what we might want them to do. So listen to your intuition. We all tap into Capricorn energy. This might be a scenario that Capricorn energy in general deals with or is dealing with right now. Might affect people that are a Capricorn sun sign, significant placements or a lot of Capricorn placements in their chart, and they're issues we all deal with, so we can all learn from each other. Listen to where you're at. If you aren't as high vibe Capricorn, you'd probably want to be in a relationship with some other people who do. High vibe shadowy Capricorn is represented by the devil. High vibe Capricorn is freeing yourself from the things that manipulate you. What things have you freed yourself from? Have you learned lessons in life? Have you grown and healed and matured yourself? Are you less manipulated by things that could make you act shadowy? What about people in your life? Have they freed themselves or not? The overarching reason for the reading is the sovereignty card. And then we have balance. You know, we all do what we think is best for us and at the stage of life that we're at and how we view life and how we feel about ourselves and everything. Whatever, makes us, seems to be the right thing for us at that stage in life. To make us feel balanced within ourselves, to make us feel stable, to make us feel grounded. Some people are able to go out and sing in front of a crowd of 10,000 people. Other people, if they were pushed out there to do it, even though that might be what they would like to do, they'd start crying. They wouldn't even be able to sing because they're not ready for that yet. So we just have to understand that everybody is living their life, some of them in shadowy ways, some of them got a lot of life lessons to learn, but that's where they're at. And then we need to use our intuition about those people, about, are we on the same page of what we think is just and fair? What drives and motivates them? Is that what drives and motivates me? And the sovereignty card is kind of reminding me of a high priestess, Nine of Pentacles type of card. Some people use their intuition in a shadowy way. I have these illusions about life. I have growing up and maturing to do, but I might be single and I want to be in a relationship with someone because I want the justice I think I deserve, or being in a relationship with someone else helps me feel more stable and grounded. Are we using our resources that we have in the world? And some of the resources that we have are these gifts we've been given so that we're not like just an animal or a computer. We have emotions, we have sexuality, we have passion, we have creativity, we have our mind. Do we use those things to try to manipulate other people, to confuse them, make them think we're a more just and fair, balanced, emotionally mature, stable, grounded person than we really are? Or are we high vibe, high priestess, high vibe, Virgo energy would be people who really are who they say they are. And we need to listen to our intuition about the different people in our life, people from our past, people that we're working with now, people we're going to meet in our future, who really is who they say they are. Because I also view Capricorn as the King of Pentacles, which can be male or female. We all present ourselves in a certain way in the world. A lot of people can try to present themselves as a stable, grounded, emotionally mature person that people should want to go into business with, hire, promote for jobs, be in friendships and relationships with. But that's not really the truth of who they are. They're just trying to confuse people about the truth of who they are. And then we get in relationships and work with people it looks like they're this more, people can wear a good false mask. But it's really just trying to confuse people about the truth, hoping you get in relationship with them in some regard, and then that you won't listen to your intuition about them. And that even when you maybe do see the truth, you kind of want to refuse to see the truth, want to still keep living in the illusion that they are who they say they are, because you want things to work out the way you want them to work out. But eventually, we can only live in illusion so long. And eventually, our intuition is trying to tell us some of the people in our life aren't who they present themselves to be. They could lack substance, they could lack character, they could lack integrity, they're immature, they're bossy, they're controlling, they're materialistic. Okay, so some people in their Capricorn energy are still putting work and effort into things because they don't want to see the truth. Or they also kind of live their life like that. And they're maybe on the same page. And they both got lessons to learn from each other. Other people have learned some lessons in life, are independent, are connected in with their emotions and intuition, have learned these life lessons along the way. And one of the life lessons is to know your worth and value. Don't be more independent of your fearful, insecure, codependent, immature nature, and listen to your intuition. Our intuition was given to us as a gift, but we as human beings have free will. How many times did we go do things even when our intuition was like screaming at us, I think there's something wrong here. I don't think we should do this. I don't think that's a good idea. But we as human beings, we're these prideful creatures. We want what we want. And we got lessons to learn. So we probably went and did it anyway. And some people are doing that right now because they could be single or they have these things of the world that they want. And they're just choosing to ignore their intuition. And they keep thinking it's going to work out the way they want. Other people have already been down that path. They already know when I take action, not listening to my intuition, and I've learned the lesson to listen to my intuition, and I've also learned to know my worth and value and appreciate what I bring to the table. From now on, I am not going to take action out of my more shadowy nature because I've done this work within myself to love and appreciate myself and offer myself compassion and forgiveness for the mistakes I've made, that now I know my worth and value and I love and believe in myself. I temper my more immature nature, not to let it run my life. And now I'm listening to my intuition. And I don't want to get caught up in illusion and fantasy land and denial of the truth. So what's going on though, and that's like the overarching reason which will dictate the decisions people make in their life. Blossoming. And the reason it came out is because of the masculine. Well, some people are sure that the way to get what they want in the world is to operate from their ego. Again, we all present ourselves in the world in certain ways, and when we take action in the world, it's considered masculine energy because people don't know the truth of how we think and how we feel. So some people are sure the way to get the things that I want, to get the abundance I want, is I'm going to keep aligning with my worldly egoic nature, make it more about me, make it more about the scales being tipped in my favor, make it more about working with the things of the world than listening to my intuition about that maybe I should listen to my intuition and love to guide the decisions I make. And some people are like, no, I'm sure I'm right. And they're still operating from their ego nature. Other people are doing this work within themselves, taking action to know their worth and value, to heal and grow and mature themselves and listen to their intuition. So different people in the world are taking action That's considered masculine energy. Why are they doing it? And that's represented by the female figures in the tarot. Some people are doing this work within themselves to become more independent, to know their worth and value, listen to their intuition, and it's helping them heal. The truth sets us free. If we let love and intuition guide our steps, instead of taking action out of fear and codependency, odds are, that means we're healing and growing and maturing ourselves. We're blossoming emotionally. And then this picture, kind of looks like coming up out of a volcano of the earth. We all have our worldly nature. We all kind of get indoctrinated into the world and kind of get conditioned and kind of brainwashed about all these things of how we should live our life, that this is living the life, this is how you should act, this is how you should dress, these are the way the world will value you, make you look like you're this stable, abundant, just and fair person, like you've gotten the things of the world. Look at you indulging in these things of the world. Look at you making your life all about these certain things. You'll look successful. You'll be happy. But some people did that, and they were confused. It didn't seem to be everything they thought it would be. And that's when they realized, I maybe need to connect in, burst out of my shell, my more worldly view, egoic, defensive view of life. And I need to start taking some action to maybe get more balance within myself, because we have this dualistic nature, and we can kind of be tipped out of balance, where either we're a loving, nurturing person to other people to try to help them heal and grow and mature themselves, but we're getting in relationships that are a mismatched relationship. They've already picked their path, and it's not building relationship based on truth and love. Or we can be tipped out of balance more in our worldly, egoic, defensive, full of ourselves nature. We all got growing up to do. Some people are growing and healing and maturing right now. And some other people are like, I don't have to do that. I think I can get the things that I want. Or I'm sure living my life this way will make me happy. And it's kind of more about themselves, more about the world. But they might want to look like, look, I've grown, I've matured, I've healed, and trying to confuse people about the truth, because I want you to be the next person to work with me in some manner. Other people really are doing the work within themselves to give birth to, shed a layer of their fear and their insecurity and their ego nature to give birth to a new them. And they're taking the action emotionally, internally, to become a new them. Other people are just trying to create the illusion they did that. So then we have the Peace card, which I also view as a Scales of Justice card. We all want to do what makes us feel at peace within ourselves. However, and the people that are repeating an old pattern, it's because so far it still makes them feel safe and secure. Why did that card come out? Because of the beginnings. But the thing is, some people just want to look like they've gotten the justice in the world. I want people to view me as this person who's gotten what other people have in the world. And I want those things. I just don't want to have to do this inner work within myself to heal and grow and mature myself. But I'll try to create the illusion that I have. I'll try to create the illusion I'm ready to move on to something new. I'll create the illusion I'm more willing to bring the dream into reality with you. But it could be more, shadowy energy as being more codependent. Some people really do not like being single. And so I just want to be in a relationship. I'm going to go take action to get in a relationship for me to have a new beginning, because that makes me feel more balanced. Well, yeah, we're human beings who are communal social creatures. And yeah, we can all enjoy being in relationships. But Some people, they're operating from shadowy energy. It's just more about them and their wants and their needs and their ego and their image. And it's kind of just using other people because, and they could think that's just and fair. I'm more unstable when I'm by myself. I kind of shadowy energy. I'm in my ego. I want to look like I've moved on. I want to look like I've gotten justice. I want to have a new beginning. I want to go indulge in a relationship. But why? You know? So we can get in these different relationships and we're trying to create something new, but we can't really create anything different than what we created before if we're the same person we were before. If we really haven't healed and grown and matured ourselves, we'll be repeating an old pattern over again. Different job, different friend, different romantic relationship, but we're the exact same person we were in the last relationship. And or the last job, and some people refuse to see the truth. You know, it could be like, well, no, I just need to find someone else to get in a relationship. It's like, well, that would be a different relationship, but are you getting in relationships with the same type of people you got in a relationship with before? Well, how'd that work out? You know, the truth sets us free. We have to kind of be awakened to the truth. You know, this is a person playing an instrument and the light going out. It's like tapping into that more creative spark of life. Things that we can't understand, you know, you listen to certain music or you read books or movies, things that are creative and inspiring, and it can move us to tears. It can inspire us to do things differently, you know. Some people are just looking to get in a relationship with someone like that. I'm sure then I'll be that type of person. We emotionally are supposed to harness that within ourselves. And it starts within ourselves. But some people are like, well, no, I just need to be in a relationship with someone who's like that. That'll make it look like I've gotten justice in the world, you know. But then you get in relationships with people and you could realize you harness this energy differently. Let's go see what it is. Acceptance. So this card shows the hand above. Well, for one, this card shows like a masculine energy. This one shows a feminine energy, which means can represent us just being balanced within ourselves. Again, we have our more worldly nature. We have our more emotionally intuitive, hopeful, believing nature. When we combine the two of those, we're balanced. We really not just creating an illusion of being balanced, but actually balanced within ourselves. And we've learned to offset our fearful, insecure, more worldly nature so that we're working together cooperatively from love and hope and faith and belief in our dreams. And then we really can, because we learn lessons. Oh, I tried to do something before. It didn't work out the way I wanted. Instead of staying in denial of the truth, I'm willing to learn the lessons I was meant to learn about that, where I needed to heal and grow and mature myself, and how I maybe needed to pick different people to kind of be in a relationship with. I need to see the truth. Oh, did I get in relationships with people who were immature or prideful or bossy or defensive or egotistical or materialistic? And if I know the way that they like to live their life isn't the way I like to live my life, well, then I need to quit getting and pursuing relationships with people who have some of those same traits and characteristics. And sometimes we can just get in relationships with people and we don't realize that we harness this energy differently. That some people aren't balanced within themselves. Their ego is running their life. That would be their more worldly nature, their fear, their insecurity, their codependency, or they're more being caught up maybe in their emotions, which again could translate into fears and insecurities and codependencies. But are we really balanced, you know? And then like this picture I have here, I'm pretty sure this is an excerpt thing of Michelangelo's painting up on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel. And it's kind of talking about when we align with our worldly nature and our more creative, inspired, intuitive nature, that's when we can create miracles. Because we're not just an animal. We are in the animal kingdom. We're not just a computer. We do have these capabilities to live more from our mind than our heart and use all of our gifts in a shadowy way. But if we really want to manifest something new and all these things that human beings have created in the world since the day of caveman days, if we listen to our intuition and if we maintain balance within ourselves, we can manifest these new things into reality, and we can give birth to growing into our full potential. But we have to get out of our more worldly egoic nature, and some people reject the gifts that they were given. You could grow to your full potential. No, I'm not going to do that. What would people say? You have been given your intuition about the things that really drive and motivate you and inspire you from love. And some people are like, no, I reject that. I get hurt doing that. That means I have to be authentically myself in the world. I don't want to be authentically myself in the world. I want to conform to the world. I want people to view me a certain way. That Bible verse, don't conform to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And some people are like, nope, not going to do it. Nope, I'm going to make my life about the world. I'm going to work with the things of the world. I'm not going to listen to my intuition. I'm not going to be more authentically myself. I'm going to make my life in shadowy, kind of Virgo energy. My truth is I want to indulge in these things of the world. I want to be about myself. I want to be defensive. I want to make my life about indulgence. I want to make my life about me. I want to make life about money or materialism. I am sure that is the best path. And sometimes we get in relationships with people, and that's when we realize, even though they could present themselves as harnessing high vibe Capricorn energy, I'm not selfish. I'm not greedy. I'm not about my ego and my image. I'm not immature, bossy, or controlling, or prideful, or egotistical, or codependent. And they are. They just wear a good false mask, And they might have stability and security, and they might have a good, this card balance, and the peace card kind of reminded me of Libra energy. Doesn't mean any of you are dealing with a Libra, but people in their Libra energy, of how they harness their own Libra energy, regardless of what zodiac sun sign they are, can be our kind of public politician, people-pleasing aspect. And some people in their Libra energy, instead of listening to a higher truth and justice for the decisions they make in life, it's more like, well, no, I need people to view me a certain way, and so I'll put in this work and effort to have this certain status and image so that people think I'm more high vibe than I am. People will get in relationships with me. People will hire me. And it can go okay for a long time. But when it gets to be that the people that they're in relationship with that really do listen to their intuition and do want to grow to their full potential, don't want to feel manipulated by their own fears and insecurities and other people in the world, and they really want to give birth to something new, that's when there can be a problem in a relationship. Because some people, it's like, I never planned to live my life like that. I thought we were going to live it like this. It's like, I thought we were all on the same page. And we just assume that other people kind of think like we do, and that they're motivated and inspired by the same things we are. And that's when we can kind of realize that, and then we have this decision to make in our life. Am I going to keep staying in this job, this friendship, this relationship, hanging out with these certain types of people? And that's what some people are wondering right now. And it's like, do I stay living my life and what I'm doing in my life and who I'm aligning with? By worldly standards, it looks probably very just and fair, and like I got all these things that anybody would want. But it might not have that spark about it, you know, that creative, inspired, hopeful, believing, loving energy to it. Maybe only one person has that and the other person doesn't. So we're kind of operating from different foundations, trying to build a long-term stable foundation. And if you want to build a solid foundation, it has to be built on love. Otherwise, it's on shifting sand. If someone's not in a relationship more motivated by love, and initially we could have not realized that, and you know, that it is more about the ego or the image or them being indulged or whatever. If someone else comes along that's got more status, more image, more money, more willing to indulge them, they would leave because love isn't the driving factor in it anyway. And that's when we can get to a point in a relationship where both people, if it's a mismatched relationship, both would like to go create something new with people who are more on the same page as them. The people who are more about the world and caught up in the illusion of the world, they want to go hang out and be in a relationship with other people who are on that same page. And the people who want to be in relationships with people who are more independent of the world or their ego or their defensiveness or have grown up and matured themselves a little more would like to be in a relationship with people like that. So let's go see what's next. Then we have gratitude, protection. And the reason is because of the sovereignty card. High vibe people are listening to their intuition, and then the bird, it's like having you're in alignment with nature and the flow of life, because the flow of life is to listen to love and intuition to guide you versus your fear and your insecurity and being in your ego, because pride comes before the fall. And the people who let love and intuition supersede them, and this is like an emotional figure with like a wreath of things of the earth on their head, you know, willing to sacrifice some of these worldly things emotionally and in your more worldly egoic nature, are the people that kind of have life-giving high vibe energy on their side. Because they're not making their life and making decisions in their life more out of fear or insecurity or codependency or ego. It's having hope and faith and belief in themselves, hope and faith and belief in their dreams. I'm not going to ignore if my intuition and my gut is telling me this is not aligned with my truth. And we come in contact with all these different people in the world to help us get clear about our truth. Again, we can get in relationships, everybody could kind of have the best of intentions, but we kind of think everybody's kind of on the same page as us. And as we go through it, we kind of realize, oh, you like to move forward in life that way, and kind of that's what guides your decisions and what drives and motivates you. And I guess now I've kind of realized that this is more what drives me and motivates me. And I think the more shadowy people are trusting in themselves or codependent on others. And they think those things that they align with are going to be the things that keep them safe. And I think they're not seeing things clearly, and they're going to learn some lessons in life. You know, the things that they think, this is just and fair, this is what's going to make me happy, you know, they're just going to go on a new journey. And some of the people in their life, it's like, I realize I don't want to do this, and I want to move forward in life and give birth to something new. The other people could be sure that if they keep moving forward the way they're moving forward, that that's the right answer. And you know, they're on their journey to learn lessons about life, just like everybody. Nothing's wasted. That's why there's a key on either side. But when we have some lessons to learn and we haven't learned to love and believe in ourselves and get balanced within ourselves and learn to listen to our intuition, we're probably going to learn some hard lessons. That's like when the devil comes into our life, right? And God will be there to work with them if they choose to, like love is knocking at the door, but you have to be willing to open up the door to it. So God will be there for everybody, but if they keep choosing to be in their more prideful, egotistical, defensive nature, they just won't grow to their full potential. And we reap what we sow, and they might be confused why it doesn't seem like they're not being more at peace within themselves, singing their song maybe in the world, being more bold and brave and confident, feeling more independent, where other people aren't being in codependent type relationships or operating out like they might be operating out of more lust or greed or pride or ego. Well, why aren't those people doing that? Why aren't those people just trying to create this illusion about how wonderful their life is? It's like, because I don't want to just live a life of illusion. I'm not as concerned about what other people think of me. I'm living my authentic life. And if there's not the people for me to be in relationship with that are on the same page as me, I'm not just going to get in a relationship out of my more codependent nature when I maybe aren't even attracted to them, or I know we're not on the same page, but other people might. And then, eventually we could know that we'd want to become independent of that because we didn't get in it for the right reasons. And, we're these emotionally complex people, and why do I want to confuse and manipulate myself? We're emotionally complex. And why would I want to emotionally confuse someone else and even confuse myself? If I know that someone isn't on the right page as me or on the same page as me, we don't have the same things that drive and motivate us, then I don't want to be in a relationship with them. And the high vibe people are listening to their intuition, and that's what other people don't realize with this card not have shown itself. For one thing, with it being called the acceptance card, the other people have made peace with the past, because that's another thing that can kind of keep us in our shadow egoic nature, is because we haven't reconciled ourselves with the past. We haven't healed from the past. And some of the high vibe people I did do this work within myself. I offered love and compassion and forgiveness to myself. I saw where I needed to grow and mature and heal. I looked at people in my life. I saw how they needed to grow and heal and mature themselves. The people who had learned more lessons in life were more loving and giving and nurturing and just and fair and acting with character and integrity. And the people who hadn't learned some lessons in life acted the way they acted. I don't control other people. I'm not the center of the universe. I can only do what I can do, and am willing to get out of my ego to admit I had my own ways of being that could have contributed to things not working out or being as warm or pleasant as I would have liked them to have been. But I just offer love and compassion and forgiveness to me and them to let it go. When we know better, we do better. And they are in this type of energy of acceptance so that they can release the past and give birth to something new and dealing with the truth. And because our Virgo energy goes within to deal with the truth, to look at the things we wanted to keep hidden in the dark, things we didn't even know we needed to know. And some of that can be that, there's other people in the world that don't have really hope and faith and belief in love. I thought everybody would choose love. But there's a lot of people who don't. I can get hurt doing love. I don't want to do love. Nope. I'm going to make my life about that I look like a loving person. I want to be in relationships, maybe with loving people. I myself, though, don't want to align. It is confusing. It's my emotionally intuitive, loving nature. I don't like to go there. I might like to live a more superficial, shallow life. I might like to make it more about indulging in the relationship, sexually and all those good things. But I don't really want to let go of my more worldly, egoic, defensive nature, which I think is just and fair. And then, so, like I say, some people like that want to be in a relationship with people who are like that, and they could think it's just and fair. You know, I want those things. I just don't want to be that type of person myself. But if I can find someone who's maybe more codependent, a nurturing, loving person who's willing to let me move forward with them in a relationship, me being in my more worldly, defensive, or whatever other shadowy traits and characteristics I have, and they're willing to keep living life that way because it works for them for some reason. You know, we can be in an equally out of balance relationship where one person kind of is more in their shadow and some loving people are equally out of balance, where they... Well, I just think eventually they might realize that this isn't a balanced relationship, but some people will stay in it anyway and move forward with it anyway. But again, they might realize the reason they're doing it is more out of pride or ego or fear or codependency, and there can be love there. But if I'm a high vibe person and I want deep, meaningful relationships, you know, it's to wish them peace. But I'm going to go find the people in the world I would have liked to have held on to you because I love you, but I need to become independent of you because my dreams aren't coming into reality. I'm not being in a relationship with someone who treats me the way I treat them. And I believe that would be... Love requires justice and fairness, not just the illusion that it looks just and fair, without it really being just and fair. And I don't think my soul wants me to stay in something that really isn't just and fair. And I believe God wants me to listen to my intuition to go get my divine inheritance. And to not... I can if I want, I have the free will, but I've probably already learned that my soul is telling me I want to become independent of this. And I'm going to do this work within myself to love and believe in myself and trust that the divine has a plan for my life and doesn't want me to stay in a situation. Again, we can all have people in our life that we love. It can be our adult children, it can be siblings, it can be parents, it can be friends, romantic interests, but if they just kind of want to rest in a relationship, this works for me. I'm so glad we got in a relationship, because when I'm not in a relationship, I haven't learned to love and believe in myself. And so I look to you to maybe provide that for me and make me feel more balanced and good for my ego and my image and all those things. But I'm never going to make the free will choice to maybe work through whatever issues within myself would free me to be... So it's kind of like continuing to give to someone, but like trying to fill someone's cup emotionally, but they've poked holes in the bottom of their cup and they don't ever plan to fix them. And it is like trying to fill a black void, because we can't make other people love themselves, believe in themselves, heal themselves, get more balance within themselves, offset their fears and their insecurities. They just keep carrying those things with them until they do the inner work within themselves. And it will kind of affect the decisions that happen in the relationship as we're moving forward in it. One is kind of, you know, taking action and hope and faith and belief and justice and fairness and self-discipline. And the other one's like, oh my gosh, I'm afraid, you know, this person is changing and healing and growing and maturing and going to the next level of life, and other people would probably want to be in a relationship with them. I know I'm going to take action more out of fear and insecurity and try to control them and manipulate them because I haven't freed myself from these things that manipulate me. And I think that's just and fair because that's how I view life. And if they're not willing to let me manipulate them or control them, then I don't want to be in a relationship with them either. And they can go, and the other person probably will go because they could want to be in a relationship with someone who's willing to keep indulging them in their more immature worldly nature or view of life, or just stay in it because of the status or the ego or the image or because of your fear. It's kind of like it's more about them, you can see, right? I'm defensive. I'm not going to, even though you're loving and you're nurturing and you're supportive, I'm not willing to get out of my more defensive nature to work with you more cooperatively in a relationship. You get to be in a relationship with my ego nature, my defensive nature, my false person, my cardboard cutout person. You don't really get to be in a relationship with people who are authentic and warm and giving and loving like you are. Now, the people that are moving forward in your life are inspired to put in the work and effort to keep working with you because they're inspired and have the same dream as you do. They know you treat people in a just and fair and loving way. They like to be in relationships with people who are like that, and they know that in order to keep moving forward with you, they need to work together with you and keep doing this work within themselves to align with their more hopeful, believing nature, to temper their more immature, shadowy, bossy, controlling, petty, envious, jealous, whatever nature, or you're going to become independent of them. If you want to act like that and you think that's just and fair, well, that's not what I think is just and fair. And the other people in your life who know that are inspired by the same things you are, they work together with you in this way. And there could be some people in the world that look at people like that and they don't understand how they manifest that. Well, it's because the other people, shadowy people, can be living more from their mind than their heart. Well, I did this and I did that and I acted like this and I acted like that. Why, didn't I get that? It's like, well, because the other people aren't like just dotting the I's and crossing the T's. They tap into their more hopeful, believing, creative, inspired, authentic, loving nature. And that's what they bring to the relationship. And that's why they manifest these relationships with people who want to move forward with them. Because they're not just putting on a show. They're not wearing a false mask. They're being authentically themselves. They're stable, they're grounded, they're insightful, they're intuitive, they're nurturing, they're warm, and they're not doing it for an ulterior motive or purpose than to treat people the way they like to be treated. From love. And that's just what some people don't get. Why aren't people holding on to me? Why aren't people moving forward with me? I have all these things of the world. I have this certain image and persona in the world. Well, and they might have people moving forward with them, but why? I don't really know if these people love me. I don't really know, are they, what do you lead with in a relationship? High vibe people and more worldly, shadowy people can all have certain traits, characteristics, assets, about them that make them look like people that people would want to be in a relationship. They can all look very stable, abundant, attractive. But high vibe people, they don't use those things to try to manipulate other people. Like staying back here, trying to tempt people. I'm not going... I don't want to take the action to do this work within myself to heal and grow and mature myself. I want people to do a relationship like this where I can tempt them with things I have in the world. Then I hope they'll get in a relationship with me and I'll get the justice I deserve. But then eventually the people they're in a relationship with realize you don't have that creative spark within you. It's kind of like you are in your more base worldly nature or your computer version. It's like you're not using the creative spark of creativity and imagination and love in this relationship. You reject that aspect within yourself, but yet you think people are supposed to want to keep moving forward in a relationship with you. Why? Maybe more out of codependency, maybe more because of these, like, well, I'll present myself as this nurturing, just, and fair person in the world, so you're supposed to want to keep moving forward with me. It's like, but are you authentically nurturing? And, is that just like how you like to be viewed in the world? But it's just because you want people to stay in a relationship with you, just because you want people to view you that way. But maybe the only way you'd keep staying in a relationship with someone is if they keep staying in that more codependent on you energy. And if they start to heal and grow and mature themselves and want to give birth to something new, then you're like, oh, no, don't want to do that. And there are people in the world that view themselves as very loving and nurturing, but only if the people that they're in a relationship with keep staying codependent on them. If it gets to where they have to work through some issues within themselves and free themselves from some things, they're like, no, I'm good. I have this persona and image, and this is a role I like to play in people's life. I'll just go find someone else who maybe something didn't work out the way they wanted, and they want to have a new beginning. And then I'll present myself as this loving, nurturing person to them, and they'll view me that way, and I like viewing myself that way. And then we'll move forward in the relationship. And if those people ever start to do the inner work to love and believe in themselves and heal from some of their issues, and they want to move forward differently, well, then I'll let go of them too. And I'll go find someone else. So it's kind of like shadowy energy can be staying in this stuck, stagnant energy and repeating an old pattern because it requires them to deal with some issue within themselves. And some people, they don't want to see the truth. They don't want to deal with the truth. And again, some of them have this illusion about the type of person they are. And just like loving people can keep getting in relationships with people who aren't kind of on the same page as them, part of that can kind of be ego, because it challenges me to deal with my own inner issues if I were to get in a relationship with someone who's really on the same page as me. Well, if this one doesn't work out, well, we knew they were immature. Well, we knew they were bossy. We knew they had a drinking problem. We knew that they were blah, 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 blah. And again, that can kind of be, and I don't think people think of it that way. We go through that cycle enough times, we might kind of wonder, why do I keep getting in relationships with people who really aren't on the same page as me? And again, I view myself as this loving, nurturing person. Well, why are we not getting in relationships with people who treat us the same way? And it can be because it could be a pattern. We're not used to being in relationships with people who treat us the same way as we treat them. And we all like to stay in our comfort zone, so then we can get in relationships with people who do kind of have these shadowy traits and characteristics. And we just don't understand why it doesn't work out. And it's like, I need to see the truth. Yep, you're kind of defensive to love. Yep. We're friends. See you next time I'm out in the world and we'll visit. Oh, you're immature and impulsive. Yep, been there, done that. Not doing that again. Oh, you're kind of prideful and egotistical. Definitely not doing that again. And it's like I'm waiting to find people who are on the same page as me. And I don't want to get myself emotionally entangled in the people who aren't. And some of the people who aren't willing to detach from old ways of being might feel like they're living the dream, might be in relationships that it all looks great and dandy, might be in their own loving, nurturing relationship. Some of those people won't be moving forward with us for their own reasons. And the high vibe people keep staying in a place of balance. They keep taking action, letting love and intuition guide them. And they're manifesting someone who's on the same page as them. I'm not going to keep getting in relationships or investing time and energy that much, other than social acquaintance, with people who really aren't on the same page as me. When I meet the people who are kind of more on the same page as me, those are the people I will move forward with. And there might be some people in your life, we're hoping you'd come back and do it the way they want. I don't want to have to get balance within myself. I don't want to have to align with that nature within myself and detach from my more worldly or ego or defensive way of living life. And the high vibe people are like, that's fine. Enjoy your life. I'm moving on. And, it might make some of those people wonder if they want to keep manifesting what they're manifesting. It doesn't have to be people we've dated before, just people in the world that we're not going out in the world picking up on them or trying to be in a relationship with them, or we keep them in the friend zone. Are they willing to see the truth? Or do they have this illusion about themselves? Oh no, I'm sure one day they'll come around. And we need to see the truth of that too. There's people in our life that have moved on with other people, and if they're not in a relationship with us, maybe they're in a loving relationship of their own. Maybe they are more codependent. Maybe they are like to play that loving role in someone's life, and they found someone who's willing to be codependent on them. We don't really know sometimes. All we can do is take action, like to speak our truth. The Virgo energy speaks the truth, offers truth, tells people the lessons that they've learned, how they've grown and healed and matured, and listened to their intuition. And they take action to communicate that to people in the world, that I have now got more just and balance within myself. I'm ready to go on this new beginning. Who wants to come with? And the people who are motivated and inspired will, and the people who won't, and the people who don't have their high vibe reasons or their low vibe reasons as to not. And sometimes we don't know, and we don't have to know. All we have to know is that the people who are motivated to move forward with this in this way are the people who've taken action. The people who don't, we have to assume they're in a loving relationship of their own, or that they could be trying to manipulate us to make us give up our dreams. And it's like, I'm not giving up my dreams. If I've spoken my truth, I took action, I spoke truth and love, and if you're not coming forward with me in this way, then apparently you're not on that page. What's coming up for the people who harness some high vibe Capricorn energy that they might not see coming? An Ace of Cups, because of the Page of Cups. New beginnings, going on new journeys, being a student of life. All three of your earth sign energies are on board with your loving nature. Your Capricorn, your Virgo, your Taurus, all of them on board. Why? Because you offered love to your own worldly nature. And your own worldly nature is trusting you that you are making good decisions for both of you. Your shadow nature and your loving nature. And you, in your worldly nature, are trusting in a higher truth and justice and love for the decisions that you make in your life. And you will have these new beginnings. Because you're not repeating old patterns. You're having hope and faith and belief in your dreams, only investing your time, energy, and effort into people who are on the same page as you. And that when you align with that within yourself, that's what you're going to manifest. You're going to have new emotional beginnings with people who have that hopeful, believing spirit within them. Now, it is true, because we live in a world of duality and you have free will choice, you've also offered love to other people in the world, and some of those people might make a small gesture to maybe become friends with you. And the whole thing is, some people will stay in the friend category. Other people are immature and want to come with you. And you'll listen to your intuition about those people. And the people that have that hopeful, believing spirit who've gotten out of their more, because the pages can represent having that more hopeful, believing nature and willing to be a student of life, get out of their ego and admit, maybe I had lessons to learn. Maybe I got caught up in the illusions of the world, the things that I thought would make me happy. And I'm ready to give birth to something new and be more independent of things and the world and my ego and my fear that manipulate me. And I'm willing to go on this journey with you. But there's always going to be immature people that want to come with, because you could look like you're going to manifest your dreams into reality. They want to come with. And I think, if you know they're, I just think they're people you'd offer peace to, but are they the ones that you're going to invest your time, energy? They're just someone who, I hope you have healed and grown and changed and matured in ways too, but, we're going to have a very kind of light social acquaintance relationship, because some of the people, this would be like the Knight of Pentacles becoming a King of Pentacles, and you could know some people that are more codependent and immature, and they got a lot of life lessons to learn. But high vibe people offer other people love and encouragement. Am I going to invest a lot, if there's people that have learned some lessons in life, it's like, oh, I'm glad you learned, I'm glad you're not letting that manipulate you anymore. I'm happy for you, but I'm continuing to move on. You're a social acquaintance in my life. What's coming up for some of the people that harness a more worldly, shadowy Capricorn energy that they might not see coming up? Oh, that's too many. Don't want 8. We can summarize this. Okay, we'll do the clump. The Queen of Swords, the 7 of Wands, the 2 of Pentacles, the 10 of Pentacles, the 6 of Pentacles, the 10 of Pentacles. I have 2 mini decks together. We're going to double layer this. The 7 of Swords, or the 6 of Swords, the Devil, the King of Swords, and the 5 of Pentacles. And the reason all of those came out is because of the Queen of Wands. Well, some of the people that right now and have been, they kind of acted immature in a relationship, and the high vibe people are offering the immature people in their life peace and love, and I'm staying independent of you and I'm moving on. And some of them are just doing it now. Some of the people who are immature, who could have been full of themselves, could have acted in these shadowy ways that we've talked about, they did not see coming that some people would love and believe in themselves. High vibe Leo energy. Being in life-giving energy, emotionally, listening to love and intuition to guide their decisions. They did not think some people in their life would do that they would get out of their more egoic, worldly, codependent view of life. And some of them did. The high vibe people saw the truth. And they stood up for themselves. Oh, this other 5 of Pentacles just fell down on the table, so it kind of must have been tucked behind one of those cards. We also have the 5 of Pentacles here. Was it right there? We'll add it right there. Maybe it was there. They did this work within themselves to get balance within themselves. Again, trying to figure out, why would I keep moving forward in a relationship with someone who's being bossy or controlling or immature or full of themselves, or seems to be more about ego and image and status, but could be kind of emotionally cold or bossy or controlling? I'm inspired to figure out why I do that, and I'm going to get balance within myself. What kind of foundation do I want to move forward with? If they're more about ego and image or money and materialism and harnessing more worldly, shadowy Virgo energy, which is kind of how we were viewing this card, And I'm harnessing more high vibe Virgo energy where my long-term goal is different than their long-term goal. Theirs is more about the ego and the image or being indulged or indulging in these things of the world. And mine is about growing and healing and maturing and growing to my full potential and learning lessons in life. I've seen the truth that some of the people I was in a relationship with wanted to win at all costs and they didn't care who got hurt. It was all about them. And if they had someone that they could go get in a relationship with that had more money, more status, more image, that's who they wanted to go be in a relationship with. Because that's what drives and motivates them. Or if they could go find someone who'd indulge them more in their ego. Or find someone else caught up in the addictions they're caught up in. Or the indulgences. That's what drives and motivates them. It's not love. And I see the truth that I've been moving forward with the devil who thinks the way that they live life is just and fair, and then they try to tell me that's just and fair. It's like, no, that's not just and fair. And I'm detaching from you. And you can go live your life the way you want to live it. But I'm going to go face my own fears to stand in my truth about what I think is just and fair. And I'm going to move forward loving and believing in myself and go be a student of life. And apparently I know this isn't my truth. This isn't my dream life. So I'm going to go be a student of life to go create something new. Be independent. Trust in my higher self. Trust in the divine. Trust in my dreams. And keep putting action, kind of like shining my light out in the world, singing my song in the world, listening to my intuition to guide me. Another thing the shadowy people don't see coming up is if they keep trying to repeat this pattern with loving, nurturing, supportive people who have hope and faith and belief in their dreams, this same scenario is going to keep playing out. They try to find people who have hope and faith and belief in their dreams, high vibe Aquarius, and then they try to imprison them there. You stay here. I'm going to juggle you and not really invest in you, but this is good for my ego and my image, so I want to keep moving forward with you because you're this loving, abundant person, and you have hope and faith and belief in this dream, and you should keep putting in a lot of work and effort to make this relationship work so that we can keep moving forward in it because it's good for my ego and my image, and I like being in a relationship with you because you're loving and you're warm, but I'm not that way. But that's what they tried to do. I'm going to create this illusion that I'm just like you. And then when you find out I'm not like you, then I'm going to try to do all these things to get you to stay in the relationship and keep doing it the way I want you to do it. Which is you being loving and nurturing and warm and me being in my ego and my defensive nature and maybe my bossy nature and my manipulative nature and not really doing love. But I think that's just unfair. Maybe because they do have status or image or power or they're attractive and they think that's how they view life. I have these goddamn things of the world. You are supposed to want those things and stay in a relationship with me because of it. And that's how they've maybe viewed life all their life or were brought up to view life. That this is how you go about it. And some other people are like, I don't know who the fuck told you that. Or why you got that in your head, that this would be just and fair, but I don't think it's just and fair. And I've been illuminated to the truth of what my truth is, and if I was offering you love and encouragement to move forward with me, to work through your fears and insecurities, to get balance within yourself, but you refuse to see and deal with the truth of some issues you got going on, then I wish you peace. I'm moving on. And yeah, that can really make them angry because you're not playing by the playbook that they think is just and fair. Odds are, eventually they'll meet someone who's on the same page as them. It's just that they keep trying to do this with loving, encouraging, hopeful, believing people that want deep, meaningful relationships, not just ego and image and money. The same thing's going to keep repeating. But what they might not see coming is that there is someone who got in relationships with some people who maybe wanted them to do some of this inner work. And they were defensive to it because they also could operate from their ego a little bit and kind of like to juggle and kind of like to present themselves as high vibe people, but they're really kind of not. And they really kind of found out the truth that they also operate from their more worldly view of life. And they're probably going to be able to find someone who's motivated and inspired by those things of the world that they're motivated and inspired by. And they might think it's just and fair and they're living the dream because they found someone else who wants to move forward with them, living life the way they live it. And that is a just and fair relationship. It's just that they might be in a relationship with someone who's like them, who might be a little emotionally cold or detached or defensive, doesn't really kind of presents themselves as loving and nurturing, but really isn't authentically loving and nurturing, but it all looks good by worldly standards. And it's just and fair for them to be in a relationship with someone who is like themselves. It's an injustice for them to think that they can manipulate or control people, commit fraud, kind of, to get people in a relationship, knowing that's not the truth of the type of person they are. They should be in a relationship with someone like themselves. And they're going to have to move forward with someone in shadowy energy just like them. And both of them might feel left out in the cold from loving, nurturing people, because neither one of them are really authentic, loving, warm, nurturing people. But we reap what we sow, and if those are the seeds that they plant, then that's what they're going to harvest. And the more high vibe people in their life moved on from them. I am not willing for me to keep moving forward with someone who's shadowy, immature, bossy, controlling, manipulative, egotistical, and for some reason thinks it's just and fair because of the status or the image or the money or out of my fear or my insecurity or codependency, that I would just keep indulging them being that way. No, you got to go find someone who's willing to stay in it with you for their own reasons. So, there you go, Capricorn. I wish you peace, love, and joy. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.